Police are continuing to investigate the shooting and killing of a Trump supporter in the city of Portland, Oregon, following a day of clashes between supporters of the president and Black Lives Matter protesters. Hundreds of supporters of the president drove through the city. There were clashes between the two groups, Trump supporters firing paintball pellets at the Black Lives Matter protests, who threw objects back at them. At around 9 p.m. Saturday night, the man was shot and died at the scene. Police are still trying to determine who shot him and why. Portland has seen more than 90 nights of consecutive protests regarding Black Lives Matter. Trump had supported the convoy, praising them on Twitter, saying the people of Portland won't put up with no safety any longer. He blasted the governor, saying that the governor had lost control of the state and urged him to call in the National Guard to quell the protests.
President Trump, you bring no peace. You bring no respect to our democracy. You, Mr. President, need to do your job as the leader of this nation. And I, Mr. President, will do my job as the mayor of this city.
This comes as protests continue in Kenosha, Wisconsin. This follows the shooting by police of Jacob Blake in the back, which has left him paralyzed.
I want those police officers that were there on the scene fired. I want the one that shot my son in jail for attempted murder.
Many of the protests started off violent, attacking property, but in recent days they've calmed down. Then came the killing of 2 Black Lives Matter protesters by a heavily armed 17-year-old who was there to show his support for the police and President Trump. Now President Trump says he will visit the region Tuesday. President Trump is keen to make the issue of this unrest a central campaign for his re-election. He often tweets out the phrase law and order, and he said in speeches that he's the only one who can restore order to these cities. President Trump's political opponents say that he is often the cause of these disturbances, that many of these protests we see on the streets are people expressing their frustrations with the president and the injustices in American society. Toby Muse reporting for CGTN, Washington.